Welcome back to the channel. I've spent my entire week behind the wheel of this 2024 Hyundai IONIQ 6 preferred rear-wheel drive. Now, I don't have the ultimate package, which would add things like 360-degree camera, ventilated seats, a sunroof, all the really nice stuff. This is very much the entry-level Hyundai IONIQ 6, and I love the platform so much. Last year, where I did test drive the all-wheel drive Ultimate, I had to get my hands on the entry level and see what you can get for a base price. So first, I'm going to take you around the exterior, then we're going to hit the interior, and of course, the POV drive. Let's get right into it. All right, so starting off up here, the front of the Hyundai IONIQ 6, I have this wonderful matte color here. It is rare. I have not seen any other one like it, but it is my favorite by far here for the preferred rear-wheel drive. It's also worth to mention that I do have the long range preferred, not just the preferred rear-wheel drive. I've got the long range battery as well. So let's continue with the front. We have these really nice orange kind of daytime running LEDs, really give the car a lot of character. Already this car has so much character, and with the matte paint here, you can see the body lines are really aggressive. Looks really cool. We do have some active cooling down there, as well as some pixels. There is a front trunk, although it is extremely small. Nothing to write home about. Now, like I said, I don't have a front-facing camera, but I do have parking sensors, which is really useful because this vehicle is quite big. You can see it's a quite wide stance. So I am very happy to have those. Now, besides the hood, what is under the floor, we'll say, for the IONIQ 6 is a 168 kilowatt electric motor that is attached to the rear. We also have the 77.4 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery that's good for 581 kilometers of range on a full charge. Although this week I've been seeing an eco mode closer to 600 on a full charge. So pretty good, but it is warm out. We are in the summer, so your distance might vary in the winter. And this all-electric IONIQ 6 produces 225 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque. Now, talk a little bit about charging. So level 2, your home charger, stuff like that, you're going to go from 10 to 80% in about 7 hours, which is pretty good, decent enough. And then if you can find a level 3, 350 kilowatt-hour charger, you're going to go from 10 to 80% in just 18 minutes. So we're almost there. We are almost there with the quick charging times. You just got to find those chargers around me. They're not too common. So next up, we move to the side profile for the IONIQ 6, and you can see just this interesting shape from the side profile. It is such an interesting and unique looking car. There is nothing on the road that looks like it other than maybe the IONIQ 5, but this is so drastically different from that. It's crazy. So let's take a close-up look here. We do have the 18-inch aero wheels that do help with range, although I do prefer the bigger ones. It has to be said. These ones are growing on me over the week, but I love the rims and the wheels that come with the Ultimate package. They look absolutely fantastic. Now, we also have some pixelated LEDs here for the turn signals. Very nice. Of course, the door handles pop in and out. You can see it's in the unlock state, so they are out, but they do come in and out when you lock it, so very nice there as well. A little bit of silver on the bottom kind of splits everything up very nicely. This mat is actually quite easy to clean, but it does get a lot of fingerprints on it. It's worth being said as well. Then we also have this charge port. One click, it opens automatically, and one click and it closes by itself as well. So very nice. All right, so last but not least, we move on to the rear of the Hyundai IONIQ 6. You can see we have these really unique designs with the pixels as your light bar. We also have the brake light just up there. If you kind of look at it from the sides, it reminds you of a classic Porsche, which obviously I am not complaining about. Of course, no exhaust, we're all electric. I do like the bottom there as well. Everything looks very clean here. It's also one of the things that gets the most looks. People like the rear end a lot. People that have stopped me also like it a lot. You've got the IONIQ 6 badge right here, as well as like a little pixelated button with your standard backup camera. This is cool. This is standard as well. It's an automatic opening tailgate. Plenty of room in the back. Little bit of storage under the floor there. Not too much, but a little bit is enough. You can fold the seats down, have a ton of room back here, and I love the fact that it's automatic open and closing. So that is going to do it for our exterior tour of the IONIQ 6. Let me now hop in. There's a couple of things to show you. I want to show you how much space this thing has, and then of course we're going to take it on a POV drive. Let's get to it. All right, so as usual, we start with the back seat. You can see I've got these door handles that are gonna pop out, can pull that, and it is a very massive or very big entryway for just a full-size sedan. I've got the IONIQ 6 here in the plastic, very nice. Nothing crazy in terms of seats. It is cloth, straight black, and a little bit of like a kind of a gray tone or like a two-color black kind of thing. No door controls or anything like that, but I have plenty of room and it's so easy to hop in here. Let's close the door. So no ambient lighting, you gotta upgrade to the ultimate package for that, but no big deal. I am so comfortable back here and I have room for absolute years. I've got 2 vents back here, 2 USB-C ports back here, a little bit of cargo storage as well. I've also got this guy that can come down, fold down for me very easily. It's a very, very big and spacious rear end. The seats also feel very good. You kind of sink in here just a little bit. I could do a road trip back here, no problem, because I've got no center column. I can just kind of put my feet wherever I need to put them, and I can also put stuff wherever I should need to put it, and that's really cool. The other thing that I find myself missing, and I wish came standard, was just a sunroof, even if it's a basic one. I do find myself missing it. I do find that this is a really big piece of black, and it is really noticeable here, but I am glad that it is colored, and it is, you know, matching kind of the interior. There is definitely a lot of black here in the back, but I honestly don't mind it because of all the room that we have. But let's hop in the business end. Let's take a look up front. All right, next up is the business end. The front, same thing. Door handles pop out, a much bigger door. You can see we have this nice material here. This is kind of split up. Kind of got like this is the door handle. It looks like a pocket storage. In the ultimate package, you got 2-tone ambient lighting, but we still have the IONIQ 6 here. The driver's seat is power adjustable. However, the passenger seat is not, but let's hop in here as well. Same thing as the back seat, very easy to get in. Close the door. All right, so once you're sitting in, you're greeted by the steering wheel. The steering wheel basically is unchanged from the ultimate package that I had last year, so that's good news. We do have our media controls, adaptive cruise control, lane centering assist. The drive mode buttons are right here, as well as we still get these cool LEDs for switching. So that's sport mode, that's eco mode, that's normal mode, and this is my mode, which has a purple LED light going through. So same thing as well, Morse code for the H of Hyundai, which is pretty cool. Left hand side, we got some stuff going on here. I've got the illumination controls, the trunk, which is automatic, which is nice. I've also got the button to open my charge port, traction control off, electronic parking brake, and my mirrors are power folding. So that's all the controls right there. The pedals are very, very basic, nothing crazy going on there, but I like the IONIQ 6 carpets that we get. Then this is unchanged as well. We have still the, digital infotainment display that looks really, really good. It displays my range, stuff like that, and you can kind of see how when I switch to the drive modes, my range will update. Currently, I'm sitting at 95% of charge. That gives me 582 with eco mode and 565 with just normal. I do have the AC on. It is quite hot out. You also get paddle shifters, but they're not for what you think. It's for the regen. If you look in the bottom left there, I can turn it down, and if I press the left paddle, I can bring it up all the way to I pedal where it will stop for me. Then we move over to our infotainment. Very nice infotainment, same thing we had last year. You have your EV stuff here where it can show you like state of charge, charge points, and your closest chargers, stuff like that. I've got built-in navigation, which is cool. I got a quiet mode for babies and stuff like that. You've got your warmer, so your climate settings or your seat settings. Got heated seats and heated steering. If you want ventilation, you got to go up to that ultimate package that'll give you that, but no bother there. You got some climate controls. You can turn it to driver only. If you're the only one sitting in the car, you save a little bit of range doing that, and you kind of have to use the screen in conjunction with this guy where my start stop button is going to be right here, as well as we have all of our climate controls down here as well. Got the parking button right there. Usually that'll bring up a 360 degree, but I have parking sensors and just the backup camera just for the base model here, but it's good. It's very high quality. Got a couple different angles as well that you can go through and take a look at, so not too bad. It's decent. It does the job. I like that I have parking sensors. That helps. Now these buttons here are not haptic feedback. They're just touch buttons, but they're not like, I usually don't have a problem hitting them. That's always my concern with these things. And there's a bunch of quick access buttons here that will kind of help you access your different stuff quickly, which is nice. Got a wireless charger here with the pixels light up when you put something in. USB-A up front, which I found interesting because the rest of the car has USB-C everywhere. So 2 cup holders. I've got 4 window controls because obviously there's no place for any controls on the door, so they put them in the middle, but we still have a ton of space under here too, so really good. This is a perfect place for the controls since the gear selector is right here like it was last year. A little bit of storage there as well. Bunch of storage in there, 2 more USB-C ports as well. This is like, it looks like it might have ambient lighting here, but in my case it doesn't. But we do have these kind of flares that come out that look really, really cool. Overall, it's just a nice place to spend time. I love the feel of the steering wheel, but let me strap that GoPro to my forehead. Let me tell you how it drives. Alrighty, back behind the wheel of the 2024 Hyundai IONIQ 6, but this year and this time I have got the entry-level trim. So with me having driven the all-wheel drive with the Ultimate package on it, I kind of get a really good kind of vibe for the entry level because I've had the top end and now I've had basically the bottom or the entry level or the base model, whichever one you want to call it. This is what it comes in. It's got the long range battery, rear wheel drive only, which is decent enough. I feel like the car is heavy enough to probably be decent in winter because it is a very low center of gravity, so the handling is just by default really good. So, but yeah, I can kind of speak to, you know, do you really need that Ultimate package? Because you can still get the rear wheel drive with the Ultimate package. You get the nice 20-inch rim, stuff like that. So do you really need it? I've been spending a week with it, so I'll talk a little bit about that. So let's talk about performance. Right now I'm in eco mode. I can punch it like this. Pretty good, right? Then I can change to normal mode. And again, punch it. It's a bit wet outside, so traction is not the best. You can see the steam coming off the road here almost. And then sport mode, obviously, you can slow down a little bit more and punch it. Oh, definitely much more of a pull there. And I'm going to make myself vomit if I continue to do that. So I'm going to go back to eco mode for now, and I'll talk to you a little bit about sport mode just a little bit later on. But yeah, so driving this feels exactly the same. Really no change last year. Power delivery is smooth, although the all-wheel drive is going to put you back in your seat a lot more than the rear-wheel drive will. I really... you know, with the EV stuff, you get used to the launches and the pulls pretty quick. It's kind of a weird feeling at first, and then as you do it more and more and more, you really do get used to it. It's not something that continuously kind of amazes you, but it's still there. You still got that instant torque. It is very quick. You know, over 200 horsepower is plenty for any vehicle, especially like an entry-level vehicle such as, you know, the IONIQ 6 that I'm driving right now. It's absolutely no problem at all. I've had a great week so far. I've loved iPedal. So for those that don't know, iPedal is one pedal driving. If I let my foot off the accelerator a bit, I start to brake, and I put a ton of, you know, or a minimal amount of power back into my battery that then gets reused, and it kind of helps with the whole efficiency cycle. So let me throw it back into sport mode here as we approach this little curve. Like I said, it is raining, so I'm not going to go crazy, but I'm going to push it a little bit and head into the turn here. Really solid, absolutely planted. It drives like the all-wheel drive version, so much so because it's so heavy, the low center of gravity, it's hard to tell, you know, based off just handling what you've got, whether you have the rear or the all-wheel drive. Obviously the straight line speed, you can kind of tell you've definitely got one or the other because the all-wheel drive is a lot faster. There's nothing in terms of ambient lighting here. I don't have any, but all the controls are lit up nicely at night, so not a big complaint there either. You know, they haven't changed much, and I'm kind of glad because honestly I don't know how much of these are available right now, especially the entry-level trims for the IONIQ 6. I feel like they're still kind of rolling them out on the road a little bit, so I'm glad that you know, they haven't changed very much, because it would suck to have this huge redesign 1 year in of the IONIQ 6 life, or say 2 years in of the life of it, and you know, then you already have this huge change. But no, so we're good. We still got these paddles here that control my regen, but I always leave it on iPedal. I love to drive this thing with 1 foot. I love that it can come to a complete stop with 1 foot, and I don't find myself missing the, you know, the all-wheel drive. I don't, you know, I feel like this probably has a lot more range just simply because of the fact that, ooh, that's a lot of sun, that I don't have all-wheel drive. You can actually see the steam coming off the road. That's really distracting. But yeah, it's not something that I miss. The rear wheel drive has been suiting me very well, actually. Obviously, added range helps anybody. So like on a full charge, I've been seeing just over 600 kilometers. So like right now I'm in my mode. If I switch to sport, it goes to 477, 506 for eco, and 492 for the other one. So yeah, my drive is basically a sport mode for me. But I like the steering that I get from it, and I can kind of tune some stuff. But yeah, I mean, look, I miss the ambient lighting. That's honestly the thing that I miss the most. And I feel like this car deserves the proper rims, like the 20-inch rims with the nice design on them. I feel like the body really suits that style a lot better versus these aero wheels. They do look good, and everybody that I've showed this car to and stopped me and stuff like that, they all say it looks fantastic. But I just feel like for me, I'm still really a fan of those rims. But as of technology wise, I think you got enough. We got parking sensors, a rear view camera, the tailgate is still automatic. I still get these two massive screens here. Apple CarPlay, it's still not wired, which is interesting. You think it would be wired, but it's actually not. And still USB, the connection, but there's USB-C all around the car. So there's some things that are like still weird, and I think I found it weird in 2023, so it still obviously remains weird in 2024. But things like heated seats, heated steering, it's all standard, so that's good. You want the ventilation, you got to go up to the Ultimate package, which again, I don't find myself missing too much because the AC comes on very nicely. Of course, if you play with it, driver only kind of thing, you can kind of, you know, make your range longer by doing that. But honestly, I don't see a point. I think it's completely fine the way it is. But yeah, I've really just enjoyed my time with this thing. Again, I knew that if it came up on the press fleet again, I was definitely going to take it because first of all, you guys seem to enjoy it, and second of all, I also really enjoyed it. It was like, if the interest rates weren't so high, we were on a wait list for the 2023 IONIQ 6, but it never came, and then the interest rate skyrocketed, so we just pulled out because honestly, I don't want to be paying that much for a car. Even with incentives, it's still really expensive, and it's not even the way that Hyundai prices the car. It's purely that if you don't have the straight up cash to just drop on this thing, then you're kind of in a predicament because the interest rates are so high. You end up paying more interest than the actual car, and financially, it simply doesn't make sense right now. So that's kind of an issue, but that might not be a worldwide issue, but it definitely is a me issue. But I think the pricing for the preferred, the one that I'm driving right now, preferred rear wheel drive, I think it's competitive if you're willing to pay the price for the EV. Like, think about it, you got no brake maintenance, no oil changes, nothing like that. You just have, you know, general tire maintenance. That's the only thing that you're really dealing with here. And of course, you're going to service like maybe the cabin filter, stuff like that. But other than that, it's very basic and really good. So, you know, I don't want to spend too much time because again, nothing has changed that much for the IONIQ 6, so I'll kind of leave it there. I think it's still really good for the entry level. I think it's still really fun to drive, and I think it's still worth it. I think Hyundai still have the great package. I can't wait to see where they go with it. And you definitely don't need the Ultimate package to really enjoy the IONIQ 6. So I'll go ahead and leave things there. If you like the video, make sure you leave a like. And if you want to see more cars like this, make sure you subscribe, turn the bell notification on, because YouTube will absolutely not show you when I have a video. I post 2 videos every single week, 1 review, and then 1 video of me kind of discovering the car in real time throughout life and just living with it and just having a great time. So with that being said, I will see you in the next week. See you in the next car. Take care.